Hey,
Hey,
Max. All right, so this is the Max Gemelli I was telling you guys about. Max, I just went over we three of them shared their they have basic game designs in their heads, right? They were like, "Oh, okay, we got this idea. We had this stuff." I told them about Cad and how he likes to design things. And then I also showed them Game Crafter. I just threw the website up there. That Game Crafter's there. So
you're way ahead of
I know,
ahead
I
of
know.
Good.
This is what
You had
happens
to,
when
you
you
had to kill
stomp.
time. Did you tell him
Listen,
what I was doing?
no, I just said you had a meeting, so I didn't.
I,
It is what it is.
I'll be open with you. So when we scheduled this, I didn't realize I had a sleep study that I have to sign up for because I snore. So kids, if you
Adult
snore,
problems.
you got to go to the doctor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I took care of that. They're gonna treat me for whatever.
yeah,
Josh, you're
yeah.
hanging out, right?
Yeah, I'm hanging out.
Or Mikey, because I
Yeah, we're
mean,
both here.
this
We're both
I
here.
wasn't sure how this was going to look, so I a couple things set up. I might need you to
Yeah.
not look at the screen because we're gonna interact. We're gonna do some gaming today. First of all, it looks like we have a couple libraries. Cool. Thanks for coming down. As Bound said, I'm Max Gemelli. I am the resident video game club tabletop advisor, guru, whatever. They seem to think I know what I'm doing about game design because hang on. There's my little mini flex.
I told them about we were just on Board Game Geek showing this, but here's the box, everybody.
There it
This is
is.
his, this is his dad's. This is his design with his dad.
It's a full box, so it's like a thing. Uh, this was to give you a full background of it. This was 12 years in the making. So there are game designers in the world who do a much more efficient job of putting games out there. But before we even get into all that, I want to tell you that the main reason why I got into game design is because it was fun. All right. The second you are not having fun, then it becomes work, right? And some people do game design for a living, but it's not the most lucrative thing in the world. So in order to get paid to do game design, you have to pump out a lot of stuff and it's got to be well received. Um, I'm a big board gamer, so I receive a lot of games, but to get mass market appeal, that's a little different story. So, as far as expectations going in, for the week that we're here, I don't expect any of you to create a game that is like phenomenal, gonna break world records. My only goal, there's one goal that everybody should have fun designing. That's it. The second you're not having fun, you got to find something that is fun, right? But you're here, so let's try to have some fun. Um, Josh said, or Bound said, you guys started the process a little bit. For me, the way that I designed is not the right way. The way that I designed is not the wrong way. It's just a way. Okay. There's 4 steps in game design. And the first 2 are almost interchangeable. It's story and mechanic. So if I were looking at the story of my game of Lords of Baseball, you are a baseball owner. And I want you to close your eyes. It's not weird. Close your eyes. Think about this. You are in 1911. Everything's in black and white. They don't have color back then. You own a baseball team because you are a millionaire. And your job is to run this team so that you win games and you build a stadium and you make money. That's the basic story of my game. Why do you think I picked that? Anyway, why would I pick baseball as a theme to a game? What do you guys think? You talk to the people around. Why do you think this guy made a baseball game? Let's see here. Yep. Heard something. Because I like it. I'm a baseball fan. I've liked baseball since I was, I don't know, 5 years old. When my dad took me out in the yard and put a ball on a tee and said, "Here, swing." I thought, man, this is fun. The first kind of step that you take in designing a game is find with it what brings you joy. So think about it. Do you guys have a piece of paper around here? All right, we're going to give you 120 seconds. Maybe 125 seconds because till I get this thing going. 120 seconds. I want you to make a list of 5 things that you really, really, really like. I don't care what they are. Go. 120 seconds on the clock.
Make a list what you guys like.
There's no wrong answers, except for the wrong answers. We are at 90 seconds.
Guys want to?
5 things you really, really like. Say the weird thing too. It's okay.
No, I could write that. Not to write.
All right. That fun video game sound means 2 minutes are up. So, does anybody really need more time? Honestly, I'm not trying to rush you, but this first little brainstorm activity, you don't want to do for too long because I don't want you to think too hard. As strange as that sounds, and before you say anything, because I'd like you to share it with somebody around you, I'm going to give you my list. Because I just put a list together with you because I would never ask you to do something that I'm not going to do in front of everybody else myself. So my list, Jameli's top 5 things that bring me joy. Number 1, baseball. Number 2, there we go. I like Lego. I build Legos. So there's that. I have this is my son thought this looked like me a long time ago. So he made me a Lego. So that's Lego. Number 3, I like Stranger Things, the show. I'm just like looking around. Like I like Eddie Munson. Eddie Munson brings me joy. He's a cool character. I dig him. Number 4, I like meatballs. What does that mean? Anything? I like meatballs. And number 5, I like candles because they smell nice. All right. These have nothing in common except they make me happy. Okay, that's as weird as it is. Does anybody want to say one of the things that they like? It's okay if you don't. All right, somebody at
Yeah.
that guy.
All right. Go for it. Or come over here. Yeah.
Indian Valley. What do we got?
I like collecting Skylanders figures.
Skylander figures. All right. I'm an old dude. I have no idea. What is Skylander? Give me a 10-second on what Skylander is.
It's a figure that has a card in it that scans into the game when you put it on the portal of power.
Okay. It's like it's a gaming thing. Skylander.
Yeah,
All
it's
right, I
also
have to
a
Google it.
TV. It's
Look at
also-
those guys. Those guys are
also-
cool.
it has cards and it's also a TV show.
That's awesome. I dig that. Good deal. Okay, I'm gonna hammer this Schlow? Slow? Oh, okay. I saw somebody had their hand up there. What is it that you like?
What do you like? Cats.
Like cats?
Is
Dude,
there anyone who didn't write cats down? Really?
anybody
No?
not right? Everybody likes cats over there? Books, cats, fast cars, not football. So like football or hand egg?
No, no football. Can't stand football.
So
I want-
either kind of football, like American football or soccer football.
Either football. I don't like soccer either, but
I got you. I have a good friend who is a gaming buddy of mine who is a big soccer fan, football, who calls American football hand egg because they don't. I don't know. It's whatever. Okay, all of those are cool. Anybody else? No. Why do we do this? Okay, so the reason I start with this is because as you start to consider designing a game, there are two areas you can focus on. Either one, the story of the game, or two, the mechanics of the game. And when I say mechanics, I want you to think about the building you're in right now, because you're all in a building. We all have that in common. I'm in a building, you're in a building. All of these buildings have walls, ceilings, floors, electricity flowing through, all of those. That's the mechanic of the building. Okay, it's how the building is built. Without wood, my house isn't here. Without brick and concrete, some of these buildings, they're just not here, right? So mechanics of the game are our building blocks. Those are our Lego blocks, okay? The story is about what you guys just put together on your list, right? Thinking about something that you enjoy, right? So we can go one of two ways. I'm going to go the way that I usually teach my students. I teach game design at my local high school, Chambersburg Area Senior High School. And again, I'm not the end all be all. I'm just the guy who likes to play and happens to design some games and likes to teach kids and wants to get them involved. So here we are. The first thing we do is we talk about mechanics, right? So what I'm going to do, I am going to attempt to put a link up in our chat. I have to hit share. So if you are in charge of the computer at your library, I'm just going to ask you to click on this and hopefully it works. So I'll give you a second. Give that a clicky McClick stick and see if people get in there. All right. We got somebody. We have an anonymous Quokka. We have a turtle. We have me. I'm in there. And we have a walrus. That doesn't even look like a wall. Oh, I guess I can see walrus now. I love how Google makes these little these animals up there. Okay, so I'm gonna hope and assume that 3 of us are in there. So what this is the first worksheet I give my students when we talk about the building blocks of game design. All right, so back at me here while that's loading up. I want you to think about at your tables there. I want you to think about what your favorite tabletop game is. All right, what's your favorite tabletop game? I know mine. I'm pretty sure you guys have never heard of it. If you have, awesome. But has anyone heard of the game Air Baron? what is this guy talking about? Air Baron? No, of course, that's fine. What's your favorite game? Give me something to work with. Anybody. Let's call it out.
I guess.
We got Braden here.
Braden, what's your favorite game?
I like playing D&D with my friends.
D&D is awesome. Okay.
So do I.
So what makes D&D D&D? I can think of one major mechanic. Without this mechanic, you can't play it. And it involves little small pieces of plastic.
They use dice.
Dice, there you go. So dice rolling. Dice rolling is a mechanic that all of us can get behind. Everybody. And dice is actually something we're going to talk about. It's on tomorrow's plan. So dice are a means of playing a game. Okay. Does anybody, I'm going to generalize my students. Does anybody like Uno? Is that like a thing that people really dig? Okay. So Uno, you have, I know these are not Uno cards, deal with it. The Uno, you have a hand of cards that you have to manage. All right. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Hand management is a mechanic that a lot of people understand because when you're little, your parents give you a pack of cards and you look at them and you're used to managing cards. If you play Dungeons and Dragons, you're used to rolling dice. If you play a lot of games, you're used to those two things. On this worksheet, I have 8. There's 8 different types of mechanics that are just part of the dozens that are out there that I think are worth looking at as a beginning designer. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you more than 120 seconds. What I'd like you to do, there's a link on that worksheet. That link is going to take you to a website called Board Game Geek. Board Game Geek is an online database. It has, I believe, 120,000 games. I'm going to say that again. I think it has somewhere around 120,000 games. That's a lot of games. Now, what makes those games are, like I said, dozens of mechanics. So there are a list of those mechanics. Now, you don't have to do the worksheet like it's work. All right. I don't want you to write things down. We're going to talk about it here. But what I want you to do is click on that link and just kind of scroll down. And to yourself, I want you to pick out one of them. If you want to write it down on your sheet of paper, one of them that you think is like, wow, this is wild. What, like, oh my goodness, what is turn order auction? What is that? Okay. I'm going to talk really briefly about these 8, but if there's something out there that you are interested in, I want to talk about you first. We're going to do this for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to watch one of them in play. I'm going to play either Bound or Micah in a game that you can actually see. And if we can set it up that you guys can play it, that's like the next goal. I'm going to teach you a game, and then we're going to see if you can play a game. Does that make sense? Because if you guys want to hear me talk for hours, you can. That nobody wants that. So take a minute, look through that, write something down. Please see something cool. Okay. So I just sent something over to Bound about this game, and we're going to see if it works for us. So hopefully you have something written down. I'm going to quickly go through these mechanics on the worksheet. So the first one is action or event. So action or event usually has cards that go with it. And what that says is at some point during the game, whether it's on your turn, if something happens, if there's a trigger, like, oh, when someone passes go, does this happen? We flip a card and there's an event. So in the things that I like, baseball, okay, when someone scores a run, we're going to flip over this card and it says, oh, the pitcher is now tired. Something happens that affects the game. When at the end of the inning, we flip a card. Oh, it's raining. Oh, so we stop the game for a little bit and we have to change our players. You can come up with a way to advance your story through events, right? The second one is area control. If you've ever played Risk, this is a game that has area control, where I might be the blue player and you might be the red player. If I have 3 of my soldiers in an area and you have 1, I have control because I have more than you. You can award points, resources, whatever it is that's part of your game, based on the fact that I have more dudes than you. That's what area control means. And your goal as a player then is to either eliminate my guys, get them out of there, or get more of your guys in there. Card drafting is different from hand management. It's a way that you get cards. So if you're familiar with Go Fish, you're trying to collect a number of the same kinds of cards. So if this was my hand in Go Fish, I have 2 5s, 2 6s, and a 7. I'm trying to collect 6s and 7s. But if I were drafting cards, what drafting looks like is I have 5 cards in my hand. I take one of them and I might give these cards to somebody else. Whereas now another person gives me 4 brand new cards that I have to pick from. Okay. So a draft is a way to acquire more cards. Hand management. Okay. Hand management, we talked a little bit about, and that's one of the easy ones for my students to understand because, experience playing and stuff like that. The next modular board is one of my favorites. And I think, my friend from Indian Valley, Braden, if you like Dungeons and Dragons, then you would love modular boards because Dungeons and Dragons is almost like open world. It's open imagination. If we limit ourselves to what's on the table, which is a lot of what tabletop gaming is, if you open up the board and it is what it is, like Monopoly is the same every time. You just, okay, you know where the stuff is. If you can imagine Monopoly with all of the properties cut out, shuffled, and replaced, that's modular board. So instead of Baltic Avenue and Mediterranean Avenue being 1 and 2, you could have Boardwalk and Marvin Gardens. Imagine how weird that would be, right? That's modular board. It changes every game. I love that about certain games where you never see the same board twice. We're going to talk about boards later in the week, obviously. Pick up and deliver. I have a lot of friends who love train games like Choo Choo Choo, Union Pacific, Chicago Express, things like that. Pick up and deliver is a big mechanic in train games where I am in Chambersburg. Braden is in Indian Valley. Braden knows I want meatballs. Braden has meatballs. He needs to go to the meatball store, pick them up, and bring them to me and deliver them. And for that, he gets rewarded with money or points or fame and fortune, right? I win because I brought the big guy all the meatballs. That's pick up and deliver. Tile placements. This is an interesting concept we'll talk about later in the week as well, where if you close your eyes, you see nothing. That's what's on the board, nothing. By the end of the game, you've built something with tiles. And all a tile is, it's a fancy name for a card. It might be a square or a rectangle, different shaped thing. So we start with nothing and we build up to something. And then finally, worker placement. Worker placement is a type of game where all of us have a group of workers. I call them dudes. There's other names for them in game design. I just call them dudes. So I have a bunch of dudes that are going to go out and do work for me. I'm going to send 3 guys out to the forest. They're going to cut down wood for me. I'm going to send 2 more guys to the bank. I need money, so they're going to go get a loan. I'm going to send 2 more guys over to the repair shop because my phone is broken and it takes 2 people to fix a phone, I guess. I don't know. So there's a bunch of spaces on the board that are action spaces. If I go here, this happens. If I go here, this happens. They just happen to be workers that you place in those areas to let you do that kind of stuff. Right? Now, I know a lot of this getting shoved at you is, I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but those are what we start with in my class, where we kind of look at them. This is what they are. And you guys have, whatever we give you here, you're going to have access to it and yours to keep. If you ever need to contact me, I have, I'll put this, I'm sure you guys have it already, but Max at BGC.org. If you're working on a game and you want me to look at it, by all means, shoot me an email. With that, in my class, what we do is we have a discussion about the mechanics that the students think are kind of interesting. I might not know them really well. So I learn from my kids just as much as they learn from me. And that's kind of where we are right now. Was there anything that when you looked at that list, like, man, I really think this looks cool? If you want to hit the hand button or wave at me or something, whatever works for you. And if you didn't, that's okay too. Because we're almost at game time. I think this is going to be cool. I think we have just the right amount of people here that the game's going to be kind of interesting. You guys ready to play, right? All right, let's give that a shot. Okay, so I'm going to teach you a game. The very first card game that I teach my students is a game called Love Letter. I want you to let that sink in here for a second. There's a game called Love Letter. Yeah. It is a small footprint card game. So I don't have my copy of it here. It's actually at school, but there's a really interesting web version of it. And I'm going to share my screen here with you guys and kind of give you the breakdown of how the game plays. And then I'm going to show you, I think Mike is in there. He's going to play with me. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get you guys involved as well. I do have to get the right version of the rules online here because there's multiple rules here. It's kind of strange. They came out with a premium version of the game. So are you sharing my screen, Micah? Are you going to share your screen?
Yeah, I figured I would share my end.
Oh, okay. So I'll just try not to cheat and look at your screen. Look at your screen. Can you actually, before we do that?
Yeah.
Can I share mine just so I can show the?
Oh yeah.
Then
Sorry.
you know how to play, so.
I do not know how to play actually.
Oh, you
I've never-
don't? Look at
never-
this.
I've never played
Mike is
Love
gonna learn
Letter.
a game with everybody else. Okay, so here we are, everybody. Can you see my screen? Give me a thumbs up or a nod or something. You guys can see this. Okay. Leechburg has it. Indian Valley, good. Cool. Slow, got it. Awesome. All right, so here's the deal. In the game, there are 16 cards. You see the dots next to these names? That represents how many cards are in the deck. So there are 5 cards that say guard. Now, the game we're going to play online is going to look a little differently because it's a .io website, but functionally it's going to play the same. So you have 5 guards. You have 2 priests, 2 barons, There are 2 handmaids. There are 2 princes. We don't have a chancellor. There's going to be 1 king. There's going to be 1 countess, and there's going to be 1 princess. The goal of the game is to win a certain number of points or favor tokens, if you want to get into the theme. The game ends when 1 player has favor tokens. So in a 2-player game, you got to get to 6. If you're playing a 4-player game, you get to 4. Okay. Then that doesn't mean if you want to play to 100 that the designer is going to come knock on your door and say you're having fun wrong. That's the best part about tabletop games. You play them how you want. So the way the game works, everyone is going to everyone is going to have 1 card in their hand. On your turn, you are going to draw another. So the active player has 2 cards and everybody else has 1 card. What the active player will do then is he's going to look at his cards and he's going to play 1. And he's going to do the action that's on that card. Okay? And that's what we're going to talk about here. What are the actions? So the guard, if you play a guard against someone, you can try to guess who they are. All right? You're not allowed to guess guard. So it says name a character other than guard. If I say, Micah, are you a priest? And he says, yes, I'm a priest. That's the card he has in his hand. Then he's out. I guessed correctly. I win. If he's not, nothing else happens. It's just the end of my turn. Right? The action for priest, I play the priest, and I can pick anybody at the table and I can look at their card. So now I know what they have. And that's the end of my turn. The Baron card, this is a knockout card. So if someone plays the Baron, so I have my 2 cards, I'm going to play the Baron, and I pick Micah. We're going to secretly look at our cards. Whoever has the higher number wins. So you notice all of these cards have numbers on them. Guard 1, Priest 2, Baron 3. Whoever has the higher number wins, and the lower number is out. If you have a lower card, you could knock yourself out with the Baron, so you have to be careful. Next up, the Handmaid. This is like the protective shield, okay? No one can attack you if you have the Handmaid in front of you. In a 4-player game, that means there's going to be 1, 2, 3 turns that no one can play any card against you. Handmaid's kind of nice. The Prince, if I play the Prince card, I can choose any one of my opponents. They have to discard their card. That's what the Prince does. The Chancellor, we don't have a Chancellor. The King, if I play the King, that means I'm going to trade cards with somebody else. So just to show you, I have an ace and a 9. I play the 9, I give you the ace, and you give me an 8. So now I know what you are, but you know what I am. King is kind of an interesting card. The Countess is nothing else other than a high number. In the game that Mike and I are going to show you, the Countess is number 7, I believe. But there's a rule. If I have the Countess and a Prince or a King, I have to discard the Countess. That's the rule for her. Otherwise, she's just a really high number. And then the Princess is the best card you can get. If the game runs out of cards, like I said, there's going to be, the deck is 16. We're going to get rid of one of them, so we don't know what's all in the deck. If the deck runs out after everybody draws all their cards and not everyone has been knocked out, whoever has the Princess wins. Because the game is all about writing a love letter to a princess. That's the story of the game. Okay? So, Mikey, does that make sense to you? You figured this out?
Yeah, I'll follow along as we do this here.
This isn't hard. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
Everybody else, I'm going to play Micah a couple times. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a join code out in Zoom, and you guys can hop in too. Okay, I want you to see before we do, just so things are in good shape. So I'm going to click start game. Each person has one card in their hand. Players take turns drawing a card, discarding it. So there's some gameplay rules here, right? And I'm going to hit OK. I'm just waiting for Micah now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's my turn. It's my turn. So at the top of the screen, Micah, do you see on the top of the screen there's 3 cards?
Yep.
Can you, is it red, blue, and yellow?
Yeah.
8, 5, 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so what that means is those cards are not in the deck right now. So you have a little bit of knowledge of the deck. So I'm going to play one card. I'm going to play this card. And so once I play this card at the bottom, it's going to tell me what happens. I'm going to knock somebody out. I'm going to play it against Micah because he's the only one. Hit OK. Micah has been eliminated. So what I did, Mike, is I played the Baron. As you can see, I had a Prince. My 5 was higher than your 2.
Mhm.
So I got 1 point. Hopefully the next one lasts a little longer than that. My love letter reached the princess. So I think you got to click waiting for Max or waiting
Okay.
for.
Okay. I keep reading the OKs all the way at the bottom there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you guys are, when my library friends are playing, just remember the button's going to be at the bottom. Man. All right, I'll play this one. I don't think I would normally, but I played the trade. Okay. So you gave me your card, I gave you your card. So now it's your turn. Do you see 2 cards in your hand?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the bottom, so everybody that's sharing Micah's screen, you see at the bottom what each card does. You're going to take that action, the one I just gave you. That just makes a lot of sense. And based on the card you gave me, I'm going to be out. There you go.
Okay.
So in a 4-player game, you're going to pick who else you want to do that to. So Mike, I've been eliminated.
Okay.
You have I think you have a
Press
button at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
So now on my screen, I see that each of us have like an envelope with a heart.
Mhm.
We're playing to a certain number. So Micah, how about this? How about you and I play to 3, and then we get these guys in.
Okay.
All right. So it looks like it's Micah's turn to start. He should have 2 cards. At the top of the screen, I see a 1, 3, and a 4. That just means those are the cards not in the deck. So Mike is going to play a priest. He's going to look at my card. He sees I am a countess. All right. So now you got to hit the button at the bottom. And I have these cards. And because I don't know what Micah's other card is, in my head, I might think, well, if he has a guard, he can knock me out. So I'm just going to play and discard the countess. And now he doesn't know what I have. So it's Micah's turn again. And you can see at the top of the screen, those are the cards that have been discarded. So if Micah has a guard and he wants to play the guard against me, he should not guess countess because there's only one countess in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to play the priest. He's going to look at my hand. I now know there are no more priests in the game because he played 2 of them. And I will play the guard. Now I'm going to play against Micah. And on my screen, I can see it says priest ×2, baron ×2, handmaid ×2. It tells me what's out there. So I can look up at the top and say, I know he's not a priest. Everything else, it's really just a statistical guess. So I'm going to guess that he's the princess. I was wrong. So I hit OK, and now it's Micah's turn.
Yeah.
Now the bummer is, and if this sometimes it happens, I just guessed Micah was the princess, and he draws another card. If he draws the princess, it's like, it's weird. Okay, so Micah played the prince on me. I think one good prince deserves another. I'll make him discard his card.
Yeah.
So we're getting near the end.
We're gonna try this.
Oh, that was a bad move.
Was it? Oh, You
Because
just got the
I
princess.
had just drawn the princess. So there you
Yeah.
go. I'll tell you what, we'll play best out of 3. I just won 2-1. So there you go. Does anybody, so Micah, stop sharing your screen here so I can get back here. Anybody
Oh, it's
watching?
over here.
Anybody watching? All this game is, like I said, there's 16 cards. That's it. Does anybody have a question? Like, how did that work? All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, so how many groups do we have here? We have 4 groups. All right, so Micah, this is you now.
Okay.
Micah, what I want you to do, that's the website. So Micah, you start a game. You're going to play a 3-player game. I'll play a 3-player game since we have 6 in here.
Okay.
Right. And whatever, like the kids can vote. Like, I want to play this card. I want to play this card. So so Micah, you have to click new game.
Yeah.
And so you guys have that. So you put your link in the chat right now.
Okay. Make sure I'm not send it to everybody. Okay.
Well, no,
So,
yeah, send it to
yeah.
every- so here, watch this.
Well, yeah. Well, I still had you under the direct message.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, send it out there. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I will take the top 2 on my screen are Indian Valley and Leechburg.
Okay.
So Indian Valley, Leechburg, why don't you click on the link that says GEUE, Good Eagles Unite Easily. That's what it says for me. And then Schlo and there's 2 Leechburgs. Okay. Is
Okay. We'll split it up.
Yeah, I mean, one of the Leechburgs picked me, and the other Leechburg picked Micah.
Yeah.
And I'll take
I
Indian
only
Valley.
love
You can.
Leesburg.
I have 2 screens. Okay, if there's only 2, or if there's only 1, that means we have 4 total. 1, 2, 3, and then one of us. So I'll tell you what, Micah, everybody pick Micah's. Forget about Good Eagles Unite Easily. I'm leaving. I that doesn't exist. All right. So everybody pick the Small Grapes Really Jam.
Mine says shy goats read jokingly.
That too.
Close enough.
Everybody, and if
yeah.
you have problems logging into his thing, let me know. Mikey, you should be able to see all the people coming into that game then.
Okay.
Like when I was in like the waiting room, you could see the names.
I got Team I Am Cool. That's what I got.
Team I Am Cool.
Yeah.
We're having trouble logging in.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Is the website blocked or? Stuff coming.
I think it's coming through the TV. That's why it's doing the echo. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't care about the echo. I worry more
Yeah.
about them being able to get into the game.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not seeing it.
If did you click on the link that?
I can resend it. Here we go.
Okay, there it is. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Did we get in?
Yep, I see it.
Okay.
Is that everybody?
Mhm.
Do you guys want off of this and just do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Indian Valley voted that our name is Team I Am Cool.
Nice.
Together, yeah.
It's a cool name.
Thanks. Should be.
Sweet.
Schlo, you hopping in?
Alright, you guys are good.
I'll be right back, Micah. Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
No. The start game.
No, it's so fun. What the heck happened?
Micah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Max, are you joining this
Oh,
game here?
I is the slow group not getting in?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
They haven't unmuted yet.
And sure.
Just go ahead and start. Don't cheat since I'm sharing my screen, everybody.
Oh, don't worry, man.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. When in the love letter rulebook, it actually does make a thing about, you know, if somebody plays the guard and like, so Micah says, "Are you the handmaid?" And I am. I can say no, but the rulebook says like if you have to cheat at board games, like you probably shouldn't play board games. At the end of the day, like one of my favorite sayings is until we play for blood or money, you should just have fun. And I remember when I was a kid growing up, my dad kind of instilled that into me. Like if we're gonna play and you're gonna play by the rules, and if it's not fun, we'll stop. We'll find something else. But this computer situations, they don't let you cheat. So waiting for team I am cool. So at the bottom of your screen, I think there's an OK button you got to hit.
Oh, there we
There
go.
we go. It is Leechburg's turn. I know what I am. And up at the top of the screen, no cards have been discarded, so any card is available. They're going to play the guard. Okay. And they're going to pick. They'll be picking me. They're picking me. Go after Micah. So yeah, you choose the team you want to go against, and at the bottom, what card do you think they are?
Mm.
You know what you are, so you're going to use that kind of logic. If you are a certain card, then you know somebody else isn't. Especially king, countess, and princess, because there's only one of them. If you're holding it, someone else is not. So you think I'm a handmaid? Haha, you're wrong. Haha, I got you.
So can you not guess that other people are guards?
Correct. Yeah, and that's because of the statistical likelihood there are 5 guards in the game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So on the actual card in the game, it says choose a non-guard card.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like it's my turn, and I will play this against Team I Am Cool, and I am the big winner because they had a guard, and my Baron My other card that I have in my hand after playing the Baron was higher than a 1. So everybody at the table gets a little bit of information. My card is greater than 1. I'm not holding a guard in my hand. It's really rough when you yeah, I was holding the other Baron. Thank you for making me get rid of it. When you're holding 2 cards and they're the same one, and like, oh, which I guess I'll play this one.
Mhm.
So Leechburg's up. Your goal is to eliminate Micah. There you go. They looked at Micah's card, so now they know something about Micah that I don't know.
Yeah.
So you guys have to hit OK at the bottom of your screen.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know what Micah is, but I don't want him to have it. So,
Oh, well,
so Micah
okay.
discarded his king. Now, if you discard your king, you didn't discard the princess, so you're still in the game. So you just got a new card.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the card you got, or that's the card you're.
yeah, I have to guess now.
Now, if you look at the top, you know number 3 is Baron,
Yeah,
number 5 is Prince, number 6 is King. Those guys are out.
Yeah.
Go after Leech, leave me alone.
No, I think I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna try and
forget-
guess yours.
I forget what I am. Because when we're on this screen, I can't see my card. Oh yeah, I'm a Baron. That's right. Oh wait, I shouldn't have said that. Mike is too smart for that.
I also just wasn't even listening, but I'm gonna try. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna try this one. Nope. Okay.
Incorrect.
I tried guessing higher, but sorry.
Well, so the Handmaid is actually a pretty good guess because nobody's played the Handmaid yet.
Yeah. There's what, 2 of them?
There's 2 of them,
Yeah,
yeah. Now, they're at the beginning of the game, they take 1 card out, so you don't have perfect knowledge of the deck. So there's 3 cards left in the
okay.
draw pile, but there's 1 that they took out because at the very end, then you would know process of elimination 100%. So Leechburg's up. They should definitely attack Micah. They played the Countess. Interesting. Okay. I'm just interested in what Micah has. Okay. Now, I have a pretty good feeling I know who everybody is. And there's that.
I mean, no way you're this. Okay. I was just making sure.
I thought Leech.
Oh,
I thought when Leechburg played the princess, because there was no king or prince out
Yeah.
there, the only real statistical reason was because they were holding 7 and an 8.
yeah.
But I was holding a priest and a handmaid, and I thought if you would have knocked them out, my 4 was higher than a 2. But there you go, Leechburg, good game. You guys are up 1-0. So we hit the OK button. We do it again. Team I Am Cool, you're back in now. So this game features a mechanic called player elimination. And while we play, I'll talk a little bit. Player elimination is one of the reasons why most game designers don't like Monopoly. Because when you get knocked out of Monopoly, you're out for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whenever the game is over. So Team I Am Cool got knocked out. They were knocked out for like 2 or 3 minutes. Boom, we're back in, we're playing again. So player elimination as a mechanic isn't bad if it's done well. So Micah is not the Countess. All right. I am going to play the Handmaid. So now whenever you play a card, you're going to see me X'd out. You can't play a card against me. That little, it looks like the turnpike symbol. This means I'm protected. It's a shield. So Micah, take your guard elsewhere.
Gonna do a little guess here. Okay.
That's all it is. But it's a good guess because there are 2 barons out there, and he knows one of the handmaids was played already, so that's down to 1. Okay, I am cool. You're back in it. You can't attack me, haha, because of the handmaid. Who's going to discard their card? Oh, he knocked Mike out. Micah, you discarded the
Ah.
princess. You love the. We're trying to write love letters to the princess, and you just discarded her. You're out. Good play, team. I am cool. Haha. I love it. So the prince is going to make. Well, team I am cool discard their card because you can't attack me. What are they going to draw? What are they going to discard? They discarded a guard. Okay, not a big deal. So I'm going to play the priest, and I want to see what Leechburg is holding, and I see what they have. Aha. And now it is Team I Am Cool's turn. I can't tell you how many times I've played a priest card and then forgot what I just saw. It's ridiculous. Team I Am Cool is on the handmaid now, so it's just Leechburg and I. So you can't play a card against Team I Am Cool. You might have to hit the OK button down at the bottom, though. Oh, no, it's Leechburg's turn. No, you're good. All right, guard, who do you think I am? I know what I am. Not a priest. And this is where it's nice that the system is taking its turn because I just drew that. I just drew the priest, and I will see you are that. Okay. It's back to Team I Am Cool. You are no longer being protected by the handmaid. And there's only 1 card left. So this is going to be the last play. And then whatever card you have left in your hand, whatever the highest number is going to win the round. So I Am Cool is holding on to the Countess, which is awesome because they're going to be higher than my Baron. Their 7 is better than my 3. So you see they have a heart there. All right, we hit OK. So I'm gonna back on Zoom here real quick here. Does anybody have any questions on how this plays? Cool. I'm gonna go back to my screen so I don't cheat and look at what Micah is. So we just wait for 2 others to click. And I got my card. And it's I Am Cool's turn. So somebody's getting knocked out here. Team I Am Cool is baroning. Who are they gonna baron? Get Mike out of there. That's a good idea. Now we have a little bit of knowledge about who they are because Micah had a 2. If that team had also a 2, then nobody gets knocked out. The roughest is when you play the Baron on somebody and you're holding the princess and you knock out the Countess. Because everybody knows, oh, the only number that's going to knock out a 7 is an 8. So Team I Am Cool has a higher number than 2. So Leechburg can pick either I Am Cool or me. Who do they think we are?
Don't choose team I am cool.
So Team I Am Cool is not a prince. All right. Leave me alone. I have the handmaid, so I am protected until it's my turn again. So Team I Am Cool is gonna go after Leechburg here. They're trying to guard, and they can't guard me. Haha. So statistically, it's just this is a guess because there's been one priest, one baron, one handmaid played. Everything else is you can kind of see the numbers down below. Yeah, I think you might have guessed Prince before, like, but statistically that might have been the best guess. Back to Leechburg. Now they can come back at you because handmaid is protecting me. They're going to play the guard. And this is really just a guess too. Not the princess. All right, so it's back to me. And I will. I will go after Leechburg and say you have to discard your card. Oh, they got rid of the handmaid. So now we know no one is holding a handmaid anymore. Team I Am Cool is up. They're going to be the priests. Who would they like to see? They picked me. They looked at my card. So now they know something that not everybody else knows. So now it's Leechburg's turn. They're going to play the guard. So now you know it's not handmaid. And you know it's not priest because those cards have all been discarded. Pick me. I am not a king. Well, it happened again. Just drew the king. So I will trade cards with Leechburg. So now Leechburg has my card. I have their card. And with one card left, it is I Am Cool's turn. They're going to baron somebody. They're going to pick up. I see what you had a 3 and a 5. So if you would have played the prince, that would have forced Leechburg to discard their card, and they would have discarded the princess. As it is, Leechburg finished the round with an 8, so they are the big winners this round. They have 2. You win the game when you get to 4. So Leechburg is winning 2-1, and Micah and I have nothing because Micah is really bad at this game. Leechburg is going to play the priest. So they get to look at somebody. Now they know something about me that nobody else does. I will play the handmaid. Leave me alone. Mikey, you get a turn. You're back in it. You're going to Baron somebody that's not me. And you knock out Leechburg with a card higher than a 2. So we know that Micah is not holding a guard. Or there's 2 priests out, so we knew that anyway.
Yeah.
Team I Am Cool is going to Baron Micah. Because they can't Baron me.
Ah.
Wow, so Micah baroned with a handmaid.
That's
Oh
a
no.
prince.
No, you had the prince. So they are either a 6, 7, or 8. So I'm gonna I'll go heavy. Are you the princess? Nope, you're not the princess. Unless you just drew it now. Sometimes that happens. They're gonna play the king. They're gonna trade cards with me. Leave me alone. So now in this situation where there's 2 players left and one of them is under handmaid protection, you pretty much discard a card. I don't know what it's going to say on your screen. On mine, it says all other players immune. So
A couple. She's on.
all right, I will discard the Countess. And it should be pretty clear who I am. I got knocked out. I think they traded me. So that's one of those things where you knew who I was. That's well played, team. I Am Cool. It is 2-2 to nothing. I used to be good at this game. I'm such a good teacher though, Mike, and that's how you make yourself feel better. You guys are playing really well, which is good. I think how it is, like when you win a round, you start the next round. So they're trying to knock somebody out right away. Cool. Get Mike out of here. So both barons are gone, and team I Am Cool has a card higher than 3 in their hand. Michael, welcome to being the adult at the table. So they're going to play the guard. You know that you don't pick Baron because both Barons are played. Everything else is just kind of a guess. You know what you have. That helps. I am not the prince. All right. I don't want to be bothered, so I'll play the handmaid. So team I am cool is to play a card against Leechburg. So they played the Prince. All right, so I will play guard. And Team I Am Cool just won the last round, so I'm going to pick them. And I think they are Princess. And I was right. So they're out. So it's just me and Leechburg. Leechburg is either going to get their 3rd point or I'm going to get my 1st. Well, you're going to get to see who I am. That's helpful. Huh. Wow. That was a mistake. Who do you think I am? I'm the king. I think if I would have played the king and traded hands, I was giving you a higher number anyway, so I don't think you could have lost. So here's the thing. Leechburg has 3 points. If they win this round, they win the whole game. This is nothing more than a guess. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, that's sorry. That was a straight up guess. Sometimes that happens. So Mike is up. Micah gets a turn. How cool, how nice.
Just doing that so
Yeah,
I'm safe.
He's gonna get 2 turns. Look at that. Back to Leechburg. And now there's no more handmaids. Who are they gonna guard? Gotta guard me. I forget what my other card is. Oh, it was the Baron. Okay. There you go. All right, Micah. You're up. So Micah's going to play the guard. Right, so you know it's not a handmaid. And then the rest of it is just kind of logic. Are they a priest? No, they're not a priest.
I tried.
And so they just drew the priest, which is again when you play this on the table, that's always it's a weird thing.
Ah,
Oh, look at
what
that.
are the odds of that?
Mike is out losing the Countess. There it is. Four wins, 4 love letters, 4 missives, if you will. Leechburg has won the affection of the princess. GG's all around. Good game, folks. So Mike, you can leave this
Okay.
X out of the thing, so we're back in the screen. So I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong, I'm going to assume that no one's ever played Love Letter before. I mean, Mike hasn't even played it. So whenever in my class we're done playing a game for the first time, I have a worksheet. And on that worksheet, I have the kids look up some of the demographics of it, how many players can play, how long does it play, stuff like that. There's one really important thing that I have my students consider when they play a new game, and that is, what mechanic did they really like? Because as a game designer, the odds of you creating your own mechanic are pretty low. I'm not going to create my own mechanic anytime soon either, I don't think. So what we have to do is kind of build a better mousetrap, right? So my house is built out of wood. Well, I'd like my house to be built out of brick because it's better, right? So build the same thing in a different way. So in my class, we play a lot of games. A lot of games that the students may not have been exposed to. So all of you guys got to play Love Letter today. If you like Love Letter, you can play it online. There's a couple places you can play. You can buy it in the store, or quite honestly, you could make it out of a deck of cards, right? You can find the rules online. 2 priest, 1 guard, 7 countess. You can write on them. Matter of fact, as I was looking at my bicycle deck of cards, I noticed I had written on the Joker, dog, pass lead. What I created out of this deck of cards was a card game called Tichu, Tichu. It's a partner game, but I couldn't find a deck, so I'm like, it's just cards. I made my own, and that's what game design is in its infancy, is taking things from other games that you like and applying them to your game, right? So I'm going to have you do a little brainstorm activity here for the next 5-ish minutes, and then I'm going to try to send a link out with some other games that you can look at. But the activity for today, because I want you to start thinking about designing a card game. Why did I have you write down 5 things? Because I want you to pick one of those things to make your card game around. I want you to think of something that you like. Somebody likes cats. All right, give me a second here, because you're going to love this. In 2020, let's check the chat. In 2020, somebody made a game about cats. Now, this game is tile laying. It's called Calico. I don't like cats, but I think that game can be a good game. Not that I don't like cats. My wife's allergic, so there's that. But somebody made a game themed around cats. If you like meatballs, this is more of a kid's game, but there's a game about meatballs. The cool part about game design, you can't do it wrong. Like, there's no answer key. Like, when my students design their first card game, I give them some rules and some parameters, but I tell them it's like an art project. If I look at your picture and I don't like it, that doesn't mean it's not good. On Board Game Geek, there's 120,000 games listed in that database. I don't like them all. That doesn't make them unsuccessful. It doesn't make them bad. I'm not the end-all, be-all ruler of the universe just yet. So if my students make a game that I don't like, that doesn't mean they don't get a perfect score on it if they do everything I tell them to do. And what I'm going to ask you guys to do, because you're not getting a grade, we're doing this for fun. What I'm going to ask you to do is pick one of the ideas, the concepts that you came up with, one of the 5 things that you like. And what I want you to do is brainstorm, just like, not the rules of the game, not like this is how we're going to play. I want you to brainstorm what a turn might look like, because that's where we at the building block this a little bit. So in Love Letter, what a turn looks like is you draw a card and you play an action. I really like actions. So that would be something I want in my game. If you didn't like that, then don't use that. Don't pick a mechanic you're not going to enjoy. Okay? So I'm going to set my it's 11:30 now. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. All right? And I'm going to check back in on you then. Okay? Cuz this is something that I don't expect you to just click and say, "Oh yeah, boom, we're going to do this." Okay? Well, think about it. If you have questions, you can either pop in the chat or unmute and say, "Hey Max, I am totally lost." All right? Timer set. 5 minutes on the clock. Right? I'm going to get rid of my ugliness so you don't have to stare at me. Actually, I'm going to run to the restroom really quick. So I'll leave my camera on. You'll see when I come back. So if you need something, I shall return. All right. Sorry about that, guys. You do have a question. Now we're back. All right. Oop. So that's our 5-minute mark. And what I'm hoping is that somebody is willing to share. I'm getting one more thing set up here for us. We're gonna play one more game. But don't worry, this won't be a good one. I have to get it set up for us. So I was kind of hoping somebody's willing to share what their game idea / what a turn would look like. So is there somebody that's feeling brave right now? I'll have Micah share his if I have to. Mike, did you come up with something? Or you just making them do all the work? Did you do any of this, or are you just making the kids do the work?
I mean, I can come up with something real quick.
No, it's okay.
What
That's
was what was the rubric?
There's no rubric. It's just like a prompt, like one of the 5 things that you like, that you enjoyed.
Mhm.
If you had to make a card game about that, what would a turn look like? Because the building block of our game design that we're going to start here then and near the end, the building block of the game design is the mechanics that were used. One of the things I do with the games that I teach is to introduce you to mechanics. So if you really like, we play more than one game. We're trying to consolidate and squeeze a lot of this into one session, which is tougher.
Mhm.
But so for me, like, for example, if I was going to make a game, and I thought about this a little bit while I was taking care of the lavatorial responsibilities. If I wanted to make a card game about meatballs, well, to me, meatballs are a food that requires a lot of different ingredients. You have beef, if you put pork in your meatballs, if you use parsley, garlic, Italian cheese, so all of those things, all of those ingredients would be on a card, and your goal is to create a set. So my game would have set collection where you have to collect certain ingredients, and then something happens. You have to have an event that happens that, oh, you made the meatball. Right? How you acquire the cards, that's another mechanic that we think about. Right? One of the purposes of this activity is to show you that there are no bad stories. Right? So like the game we just played, I'm going to read you something, and I want you to stop and I want you to listen to this, because this is straight out of the love letter rule book. Right? Let me. The guard looked Bartholomew Keiss up and down for a moment, then frowned. "I'm sorry, Master Keiss," she said, "but the princess is not seeing visitors at this time. She is, of course, in despair over the arrest of her mother." "Of course," the young composer said, nodding and looking appropriately sympathetic. "But I am not just visiting, you see. Her Highness requested my instruction. We are to practice her singing." "The princess already has a vocal maestro," the gruff woman replied, raising an eyebrow. "I'm sure he knows that, Odette," said a kind voice echoing down the hall that connected the residence to the palace. The two turned to see Susanna, one of the Princess Annette's handmaids, walking toward them. What the good composer means to say is that the princess requested his work for their practice. The young woman smiled at the door guard, then turned to give Bartholomew a conspiratorial wink. That has absolutely nothing to do with what we played. That's the story. All right. You are the composer, right? That's what the story aspect of the game is. And that's another thing we'll talk about later this week, where you're putting the player into the footsteps of the game, right? So I took my love of meatballs. I had a couple mechanics built around it. Now I'd have to write a story. And that's, like I said, that's for another day. But I'm going to do one more game with you because there's one more concept of game design that is really important. And for this, you're either going to need to talk or use the chat. So just be aware of that. I'm going to say Micah is going to be yellow. Indian Valley. It's going to be red. Leechburg. You guys are going to be blue. And I don't know if Shla was here. I will make them green. And I'm going to share my screen because we are going to play the worst game ever. I know you're excited. I would be too.
Is it Yahtzee?
No, this is literally the worst game ever. This is actually a program called Photoshop that I created a prototype. This is what the game looks like. Your goal as a player is to get your piece around the map to this little X marks the spot. That's it. That's the goal. Now, how you do that is you're going to guess a number. If you guess the number right, that's how many spaces you move. If you guess the number wrong, your turn is over. Okay? So let's go.
We're blue.
I have your names over here. So Mikey, you're gonna go last. So Indian Valley, are you with me? Indian Valley, what's your number?
3.
3, you're wrong. Leechburg, you're up. What number am I thinking of?
7.
Schlo, are you with me?
Next time is your turn, then you win. That's
You guys just wrong.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys, I can't see the chat, so we're gonna have to talk. I don't know if Schlo's there, it's okay. Micah, what's your guess?
2.
Indian Valley, you're up.
Remember the numbers? 5.
5 is correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Leechburg, you're up.
7.
So Micah,
2.
nope. Indian Valley,
3.
Leechburg,
4.
nope. Micah,
3.
nope. Indian Valley,
6.
nope. Leechburg,
8.
nope. Micah,
5.
5 is correct.
That makes sense.
All right. Indian Valley, back to you.
7.
Leechburg,
5.
5 is correct.
What?
Micah, you're up.
5.
Nope. Indian Valley, you're up.
8.
Leechburg, you're up.
6.
Micah, you're up.
4.
Indian Valley,
5.
Leechburg, you're up.
3.
3 is correct.
But you have to remember the numbers.
Micah, you're up.
3.
3 is correct. Indian Valley, you're up.
3.
Nope. Leechburg, you're up.
7.
7 is correct. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's so close.
Micah, you're up.
4.
Nope. Indian Valley, you're up.
5.
Nope. Leechburg, you're up.
7.
That is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, Mikey, you're up.
10.
Nope. Indian Valley, you're up.
6.
Nope. Leechburg, you're up.
3.
Nope. Mikey, you're up.
That would have
3.
3. They just said 3. Indian Valley, you're up.
8.
Nope, not 8. Leechburg, you're up.
2.
It was correct.
Let's go.
Mikey, you're up.
5.
It's not 5. Indian Valley, you're up.
1.
It is 1. All right, Leechburg, you're up.
1.
It is 1. There you go. And Leechburg has won. They're so excited. I love it. All right. Now, you got to understand when I play this with stop it. When I play this with my class, and I ask them, I break them up into groups, and I ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun was this game? And what's going to happen is who is my winners here? Leechburg. Leechburg's going to say this game was fun, right? Yeah, they like Micah. How much fun did you have playing this?
Not a lot of fun.
He's shaking his head. No, my man Braden back there in Indian Valley. Did you like it?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Like you're not. And here's the thing: as a designer, you can't. You have to have thick skin, which means if people say they don't like your game, you got to be okay with that. Now, this wasn't my game. Full disclosure: when my son was 3 years old, he made a map. He loved drawing, and he drew a map over top of the United States. And he said, "Dad, we're gonna play a game. It's like Mickey Across America." He had these little like Mickey Mouse figures. He had a Mickey and a Minnie. Yes, I know, but use your imagination. And he's like, "We're gonna go across America." So, okay, how do you do that? He's like, "Well, you guess a number." What? He's like, "If you guess a number and you get it right, that's how far you move." Okay. I never moved. Ever. Why do you think that is? You can talk about it amongst yourselves. Like, it's pretty clear. Why do you think that is?
Or he doesn't.
You changed the number every time you guessed.
Every time. Now, here's the thing. When you guys went through the first time, I had a number in my head. It was going to be 5. And just legitimately, nobody picked it until somebody did. When I play this with my students at school, the number changes in my head so many times. And sometimes, like, I forget, I forget what numbers they picked. And I'll go back and, like, somebody guessed 3, and then 10 rounds later, somebody guesses 3 and it's right. What do you think happens then? We guessed 3. And the kids in my class get like super competitive about this really weird, quite honestly, bad game. But why do I play it? Not to make fun of my 3-year-old son who's now 15 and probably doesn't even remember this game. What we do as game designers, and I'm gonna share my screen one more time so we can, if I can find the share screen button. Let's go back to this right here. What this is called a prototype. All right. Now, if you don't have access to a photo editing program like this, you can use any number of hand tools, index cards, printer paper, lined paper, graph paper, doesn't matter, paper, crayons, markers. The one thing I will tell you about prototypes is they do not need to look good. What was told to me when I first designed Lords of Baseball 13 years ago with my dad, I am fortunate enough I have a little bit of experience in Photoshop and I could make it look reasonable. What you're seeing in front of you right now is just a bunch of boxes. And instead of these little colored squares that represented your player piece or your player marker. Use pennies, nickels, rocks, paper clips, anything. Your family has a junk drawer. I'm sure of it. It's probably in the kitchen. It might be next to the forks. Open up the junk drawer. Like, oh, look at this. I have a rubber band. I have a cough drop that's wrapped up. I have a pen cap, right? You don't have to incorporate expensive things into your prototype, and just see if you have something that's playable. So what we did is we just experienced what's called a test or a play test. Now, some people thought it was fun, probably because they won the game, but everybody else, well, probably had some problems with it. So since I can't see you guys over here, let's see if I can make it a little bit. Here we go. Now I have let's do this one. I have a little bit of a sense of who's there. Can anybody come up with an idea that might make the world's worst game better? How could you make the game better? There's no wrong answers to this, except for nothing. There's a lot of problems with this game. If you say there's nothing you can do to make this better, that's wrong. So it's somebody. So I think somebody in Leechburg has their hand up. Young lady back there. What do you think?
Like you keep playing until everybody won, and then there's still one person who hasn't won, and then they lose, and then everybody else wins.
Okay, that's changing the end game mechanic. That's so if you get there first, you're safe, and we're not going to eliminate you. Okay. How about the game itself, though? What can we do to change the game itself? How can we change the way we move our pieces to make sure that I'm not cheating?
Like using dice,
You can have a card that has a number on it.
Cool. Awesome. So here we go. We have a deck of cards, just like sorry. We flip it over. Oh, Jack means you move 6 spaces. Or we flip over, oh, 4. You're going to move 4 spaces. Awesome. What else can we use besides cards?
Dice.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. So just right there, that eliminates my cheating. So we just did a play test. I wanted to test how well this worked. It didn't. How can we fix what didn't work? We'll incorporate this and we'll play it again. Okay, now we're going to draw cards and move, or we will roll dice and move. Okay, now from a perspective of fun, if I just roll dice and let me see here, we'll pick Leechburg. If I just roll dice and just move across the board until, okay, we get to the end, is that really a ton of fun? Not really. So what can we do out here on the board to increase the fun? Again,
You could
no
add
wrong answers.
you could add certain spots that make you go back or forward.
Ooh, okay. So we can, let's put in, if you land here, you go forward. If you, oh, hey now. What if I do this? When you land here, you go backwards. Look at that. So now we have action spaces. Action spaces. If we have, if Indian Valley rolls a 3, oh, I zoom ahead. Maybe this means I take an extra turn and I rolled a 2. So now I'm up to here. Okay. So that's another thing. The other thing that you can do on a board like this, your imagination is your only limit. So if we get to this space right here, you have to sing a song. And if you don't sing a song, you go backwards. or we get to this space right here, you have to give somebody a high five. If you get to this space here, you have to pretend you're an airplane and talk about your last vacation, right? And this turns it into what's called a party game, where we do things that are outside the realm of a board game. Instead of, rolling and moving, playing cards against each other, trying to knock each other out, let's try to make somebody laugh. And if somebody laughs, maybe then they're out. Maybe that's the way you eliminate people from this game, if they laugh. But that what we just experienced, and this is a really key point as we're just getting ready to close up here. One of the key points in game design is the first time you make a game, it will not be good. And that's okay. The first time my father and I designed Lords of Baseball, what people told us was that there's a game here, we just have to streamline it a little bit. That was a very nice way of saying it wasn't good. And it took us a little while to find a group of people who could help us develop what we had designed. And I'm going to talk about some of those groups later in the week, but from where you guys are right now, what I'd like to see you try to do is make a card game. So you think about what a turn is, right? The design process really starts with, what does a turn look like and where am I going? How do you win the game? And how do I get there? Okay, that's all a turn really is getting from the beginning to the end, getting your piece from the start to the middle. That's it. Okay, so your goal, today's goal, come up with a card game, and it can't be any worse than the game you just played. My son's 3-year-old game, the worst game ever. So I don't want you to be, I don't want you to be nervous that nobody's going to like my game, or he's going to say it's bad, or something like that. It's okay. It's not going to be the best game ever your first try. But if you don't try, then we never get to the end. Okay? Does that make sense? Give you something to think about for today. Okay, tomorrow, tomorrow we pop in here, I'm going to talk a little bit about dice. Here's the rule. Okay, yeah, I forgot to tell so when my students make their small footprint card game, the rule is you can have no more than 30 cards, because Love Letter has 16, so I'm giving you double. So no more than 30 cards, and you are not allowed to use dice at all. And the kids are like, what? That's the challenge part of it, right? So no more than 30 cards, no dice, and that's it. Because tomorrow we're going to talk about dice. There's absolutely a place for dice in game design, but not today. All right. We good? That makes sense? All right. So that's Monday here for our Steam Monday, Video Game Clubs of America Tabletop Design Challenge. I want to thank you guys for coming out and spending some time with me and beating me in Love Letter. Mike, is there anything else we need to do?
No, I think that's it for today. We're gonna have 2 more sessions of the same thing later today. And then tomorrow picking up with day 2 of just continuing everything we learned today. So be sure you come back tomorrow, same times that we're running the camp.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. Have a great day. Stay cool. It's supposed to be like 107 or something here in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Play some board games.
See you guys.